demon is raging inside the veins of Zane Smith, stating in his post-race interview last week in Martinsville that he'll do whatever it takes to win the damn thing. That damn thing being the 2021 NASCAR Truck Series Championship. Originally, Zane Smith and champion was an oxymoron, at least in 2021. His regular season was defined by decent runs and a whole lot of shortcomings, entering the postseason with 0 wins to his name. And as for the playoffs, while Sheldon Creed was out there dominating in a GMS truck, Zane Smith was fighting for his life every single race. In fact, Smith has spent a grand total of 2 races above the playoff cut line. Those 2 races, of course, being the 2 elimination races. Bristol, as Smith below the cut line, won the race, meaning Smith had to claw and fight ahead of the 2 other drivers, doing so by besting Todd Gilliland and Austin Hill, 2 of the heavy favorites for the title. The round of 8 was the same story, as Zane Smith had 2 awful races, which meant he had to go out there and get the win, something that seemed improbable with just 1 top 5 finish on the year. Even more so with the dominant truck of the afternoon, Todd Gilliland, driving away with the grandfather clock on fresher tires. Then all chaos broke loose and came the final restart, meaning it was rally time indeed. With such a career win, Zane Smith punched his ticket back to the big race, not only hoping to win the damn thing, but also you gotta remember, he's racing for a job. This is a racer right here that is in this position on talent alone. He's never had the big paycheck, and he's going to have a steep hill to climb to get even further up the mountain. Winning the championship in trucks will go a long way in getting some job applications accepted and keeping him in a top-tier competitive NASCAR ride. So no question that Smith, Bono Mannion, and this 21 team are all in for the biggest trophy in truck racing this Friday night. The lone Chevrolet Silverado will face a tundra of obstacles in this race, and I mean a tundra. Thanks of course to Toyota absolutely dominating this 2021 truck season, and once again, the silver nameplate will dominate the championship race, placing 3 Toyota Tundras into the winner-take-all event. First up is Kentucky's Ben Rhodes, a driver who has been close to becoming a Truck Series colonel but just never found the winning formula to get to the top, especially after Sauter, Crafton, and Enfinger kept him in the ThorSport shadows for many years. Then an organizational shuffle saw Matt Noyce lead the 99, and jumping onto the pit box was Rich Lucius, a move that has paid big money for Rhodes. The 2 instantly discovered the recipe for success, winning their first race together in thrilling fashion. They would run it back at Daytona a week later, this time on the challenging road course layout to start out the season 2-0, hoping in February to pull off the improbable feat of winning every single race, something that has never been done. In football terms, the next 19 races have been catastrophic, going winless through the rest of the regular season and in the playoffs, even though somehow they have made it as a 3 seed. While this Bombardier 99 team hasn't done a lot of winning, they've done something foreign with Ben Rhodes, and that is carry the torch at ThorSport. This has been the best team for the entirety of the regular season and throughout these playoffs. Seeing Ben Rhodes surpass career numbers in top 10s and average finish further strengthens this, while never ranking worse than 3rd in points all season long. With finally making it to the big race, he's ensured of at least a 4th place points finish, so this has already been a successful season for Ben Rhodes and his driver development. ThorSport has been known as the Matt Crafton show for the past 2 decades. Sure, you have Johnny Sauter and Grant Enfinger, and they've always been good, but no driver and no team has matched what this 88 bunch has done. Ben Rhodes has the chance to change that and potentially kickstart a new era at ThorSport. One more win this year will officially erase all the skepticism surrounding Ben Rhodes and his career, as he will officially be the brand new Truck Series Champion. Speaking of the crafty veteran, Matt Crafton, I gotta tell you, he's back folks. Has he touched a checkered flag this year? Not at all. And assuming he doesn't win Friday night, this will be the 3rd winless season for Crafton in 4 years. But still, I'm telling you, Matt Crafton is back. he could give a damn about winning a race where the celebration lasts just 1 week. What matters at the end of the day is taking home the big trophy so he can celebrate for 3 months straight. Now, when you look at his regular season, this 88 team didn't put together a lot of good finishes. Through the first 11 races, Crafton had just 4 finishes inside the top 10. However, since finishing 3 laps down in Texas all the way back in June, Matt Crafton has turned the corner with 8 top 10 finishes in the past 10 races, including a rock-solid postseason that all started with a statement race in St. Louis. For some odd reason, Matt Crafton just has not figured out Gateway. It's been a curse to this 88 team. You could blame it on the neon yellow paint, as typically Menards cars don't have a winning track record in night races. When you look at Cup Xfinity Truck, it's usually the heat of the day they do their winning. Some demons needed to be shed on this full moon night, and in a race where all chaos broke loose, Matt Crafton casually scored a second place finish with ease. These races right here proving as the real victories for Junior Joyner and crew. The team also fought through playoff pressure in Martinsville after getting spun out by teammate Grant Enfinger, further showing the disconnect between teammates at ThorSport. Even with the adversity, Matt Crafton did a 360 both physically and literally, scoring a hard-fought top 5 to achieve their main goal on the season. The hard 21 race grind to get to the championship race is done. Now, Matt Crafton has the chance to tie one of the greats in Ron Hornaday Jr. with his 4th NASCAR Truck Series Championship. His abilities don't seem to be aging like Prairie Farms milk, but you never know when this might be your last chance. The 88 crew should approach this weekend like it's the last opportunity to achieve such a feat, and thus I expect Matt Crafton's Toyota to be as good as it's ever been in any other race. The negative echo chamber, known as NASCAR Twitter, was on the verge of rage, and Austin Wayne Self had the Ford truck been knocked out of the playoffs. Fortunately, John Hunter Nemecheck, the most dominant driver of the season, races on. This being a driver that was a big story of the 2021 silly season after giving up his cup-seated Front Row Motorsports to take this competitive opportunity to race the championship number 4 truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports. It was a big career risk, potentially career suicide, and now there were no more excuses for this guy. He was to flash his talents in a magnificent display and hang with his boss man, who is in fact the all-time wins leader in the Truck Series. His first opportunity to beat that 51 truck and Kyle Busch was at Las Vegas, and John Hunter, he cashed in big, playing an ace against the Truck Series King to pick up win number 1. The boss man would get the best of him at Atlanta, but he'd get to reshuffle the cards and do it all over again at Richmond, passing teammate Chandler Smith late and holding off a hard-charging Kyle Busch to win race number 2. Charlotte, John Hunter Nemecheck would put on a masterclass in KBM's backyard, leading 71 laps en route to a dominant victory. And as the season got on, the wins just kept getting bigger and bigger, as his 4th victory was a Texas-sized one, not only dominating once again but besting Chase Elliott, the defending Cup Series champion. Then at the Tricky Triangle, Pocono's 3 tricky turns would be no match. And why would they be when you've got a number 4 truck that can hug the white line better than any other truck in the field? In the 5 races that both John Hunter Nemecheck and Kyle Busch were in the field, Nemecheck ended up winning the best of 5 series 3 wins to 2. To the surprise of many though, Nemecheck hasn't won since, and as for the postseason, his NASCAR playoffs have been known for rattling up some controversy so far. Beginning at Bristol, where he supposedly got loose racing hard for the win, allowing teammate Chandler Smith, who was in a must-win situation, to advance to the round of 8. Talladega, he pushed Matt Crafton a bit too aggressive, which led to a heated post-race altercation. Meanwhile, Austin Wayne Self almost ended his season in heartbreaking fashion. And this is why you have a good regular season, as through all of this adversity, John Hunter Nemecheck is still here. He's still standing, fighting for the championship in Phoenix, returning KBM to the championship race for the first time since 2018. So when it comes to this race, I expect Nemecheck, Eric Phillips, and this 4 team to step it up and bring back some of that spring performance. Potentially even turn the championship into an absolute barn bummer like the guy signing their checks has done so many times before. But win or lose, John Hunter Nemecheck has arrived in NASCAR, and this 4 team is going to be strong at least through next year and potentially for many years to come. For the 27th time, 13th under the Camping World Holdings banner, it's time to crown a Truck Series champion. And thus, it's time to take a crack at getting it right by choosing one of the 4 worthy candidates for the taking. I'm sure everyone's going to pick John Hunter Nemecheck this weekend with the season he's had, but honestly with his performance as of late, he's not my pick. Kyle Busch will have to watch in agony as Todd Gilliland wins Phoenix to clinch the Owners' Championship for the 38 Front Row Motorsports team. So since I didn't pick one of the championship drivers eligible to win the race, that should be enough indication as to who I think is taking home this season-long hardware. The crafty veteran, Matt Crafton. I just think his second half momentum will help him have a top 5 run, one that is good enough to officially tie Ron Hornaday Jr. in the NASCAR history books. So anyways, this is Nathan from NRF Productions signing out, and just remember, life's a beach and then you drive.